Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights, and this is a solo edition. Dash is out sick, and I'm here doing a solo episode for each and every one of you. And who am I? I am JD Nero, aka He Who Pods, aka Rearview Mirror. And so let's get right into it. Y'all know when I do solo episodes, we go quick, okay? We don't mess around. So let's start immediately. This comes from Complex. Okay, Complex says Spotify unveils Song DNA, which lets users see samples, producers, and more. All right, it says Spotify has begun rolling out their new feature called Song DNA. This new feature in the Spotify app allows users to take a deeper look into their favorite tracks. Just like the credits feature, you can see the producers, writers, and performers on a track. But now you can interact with each profile, shedding more light on the many people who go into making the music. Additionally, Song DNA also tracks samples and interpolations of songs, so you can listen to the original tracks behind the sample. This feature arrives after Spotify acquires Who Sampled a months back as they integrate further into its programs. This is really interesting. We'll circle back to that. Let me just finish reading their caption/announcement. The feature arrives, we said that already. The feature is only for premium users, and here is how you can access it. That part's whack. While listening to a song in the Spotify app, you hit the playing view. You're going to hit Song DNA card on the tracks that have it. And then you're going to tap to see the song's collaborators, samples, interpolations, and covers. And then allows you to follow links to the discovery of those things. And then here's some slides to kind of help it make sense. They have a slide here of an example of Kendrick's Luther. And so it shows Kendrick as the main artist plus two more. And then it says, If This World Were Mine is the sample. And then it'll show you the contributors. It shows you SZA as a main artist, Kendrick as a main artist. It says he has two roles because we know he raps and he sings on the song. Then it has Ink as an additional vocalist, Sam Do as an additional vocalist, and then it shows the composer of the track as well. And then Sam Do, it's because it's the samples of the vocals. It also shows you, I said that wrong. It shows you the sample as well, and it says Sherry Lynn and Luther Vandross, If This World Were Mine. And so there you go. I won't show y'all the slides for copyright reasons, but that's what it shows you. And so, yeah, this is really interesting. Let me go back to what I said we're going to circle back to. So I did not know that Spotify acquired Who Sampled. It's a really interesting purchase. Many people would go to Who Sampled when we wanted to know what was sampled on a record. It's a website that got popular during the blog era where we would go up there and find who sampled what. If you knew, for example, that the Luther record sampled If This World Were Mine, then you may not have to go up there. But here's what's cool about up there. You could put in If This World Were Mine, and it will show you a list of songs that sampled it. And you would be able to go listen to those songs. There were different iterations of the website with different features, but that was one of the features I always thought was cool. And it seems like what they're trying to do is integrate those things into Spotify. Now, I don't think this should be a premium feature. This is my opinion. I think it should just be something that everyone can use because seeing who's a vocalist and who's a producer and those things, I don't think is a big deal. Those are just credits. Perhaps just that sampled part and being able to go to each of the people involved, maybe that part could be premium. I could make an argument for that. I don't see why people seeing the sample needs to be a premium feature. Who Sampled was not a website you had to pay for. You could just look it up like Google. It's just basically a search engine. So I understand why they're doing some of this as a premium feature, but other things I don't understand because it should just be a feature that everyone can use because what you're basically giving us minus the sample part. I do understand why that could be a premium feature, but the in-depth quote unquote look at the people who are featured and took part, like the collaborators and producers, they're just credits. People should be able to see who was involved in making a song, especially if they were given credit. People should be able to see the full credits. For the sniffles, sorry audience, it is really hot after it was not so hot yesterday. And the temperature went from like 60 or 50 to 80. And my allergies are not happy. So you might hear me sniffle a little bit. But anyway, we move on. So this comes from Earn Your Leisure. Earn Your Leisure says, 50 Cent signs $100 million partnership deal with Planet Hollywood to launch new entertainment hub in Times Square. This is so interesting to me. It says 50 Cent has signed a $100 million deal with Planet Hollywood founder Robert Earl to develop PH Live, a new entertainment venue in Times Square, New York City. The flagship location housed within Planet Hollywood Times Square. Planet, y'all ain't even know about Planet Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Housed within Planet Hollywood Times Square is designed as a multi-purpose space featuring live music, live music performances, 1, film premieres, 2, dining experiences, 3, private events, 4, and sports viewings, 5. That's a lot of shit going on in one building, but that's smart. The project represents Jackson's first major restaurant and entertainment venture, with plans to expand the concept to additional locations, including, of course, Shreveport, Louisiana. This is really smart, and if 50's going to have a restaurant in there as well, because that's already something he wanted to do, this is really smart. This is a really, really smart way to use a place for multiple things. Also, a great way to keep the rent paid, because the rent in Times Square is astronomically high. So this, I think, is a really, really smart business move for 50 Cent / Curtis Jackson, and way to team up with someone or a corporation as big as Planet Hollywood. Because that name alone is going to drive certain business in the door. And I'm sure they both know that. So that's really good. And what I like even more is already they're talking about the Louisiana location, which we know 50 Cent has a hub he's been building over in that portion of Louisiana. And this is a great thing because for those who don't know, he's kind of taking a town that wasn't necessarily on the map for entertainment and bringing a lot of people over there. Where we all know, like New Orleans already has a huge Hollywood presence. 50 has been bringing different things to another section of Louisiana, and I think that's really cool, and it's really smart that we're already talking about bringing something like this over there where I have my hub, not me, 50 Cent / Curtis Jackson. I think this is a really smart move. I'm curious to see how this will work in Times Square. I guess it depends where it is, because Times Square is a small section of Manhattan. And so I'm curious as a New York native where they're going to put that and how that's going to flow as far as some of the things they're talking about, because it's not so simple to do movie premieres depending which block, I guess you could say, which segment of Times Square they put this in. I think this is great. I'm just curious about how this is going to go, how this is going to look. This is a really smart way to create a quote-unquote entertainment hub. I think this is smart. I also think as businesses close in that area, now I'm getting kind of really like New York niche with it. I think as businesses continue to close in that area, you're going to see more hubs of different kinds, because you kind of need to be able to, 1, pay that rent, and 2, continue to drive traffic into this location to have people buying things again to get back to the revenue of it all. So I think this is a really smart move. I'm also curious how this first restaurant venture will go for 50 Cent. It seems like he's dipping his toes in some new water there. So I'm curious to see how that will go. But if Planet Hollywood is supporting him in various ways, then I think he should be good, to be honest. Our next and last topic is a special announcement about a special project from Marvel. So for those who don't know, John Bernthal has been Punisher for a while now, and he had announced about a year or so ago that there was a special presentation coming for him and his character, the Punisher. Or the character he plays, which is the Punisher, not saying he owns it. So Marvel has begun to do these special presentations. They're like a one-off movie of sorts, or long episode. I guess it depends on how long this one is. They released one a while ago, which was Werewolf by Night, if I remember correctly. And so it was a one-off thing. So it's called Marvel Special Presentation. It airs specifically on Disney Plus. And so this will be the second one. This one is all about Punisher. And so I'm going to read you guys their announcement from Deadline, and then I'll tell you some of the things I know, because I've been following this as well. And so it says here, the Punisher TV special starring John Bernthal has been titled The Punisher One Last Kill, and will launch on Disney Plus on May 12th. Bernthal co-wrote the special alongside Ronaldo Marcus Green, who also directed. The special will air the same day as Daredevil Season 2, and I guess they mean finale. I guess they forgot the word finale because Daredevil Season 2 already started. It's also not Daredevil, it's Daredevil Born Again. So I think when they put up this caption, they just made some, I guess they were rushing and forgot some things. So Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is going on currently. And I guess what they're trying to say is that this is going to launch as that ends, which makes a lot of sense, and I'll explain why in a minute. We've also seen that in the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, Punisher's there. So let's just go back and give a little bit of history of what's going on and why this is important if you are watching any of these things or all of these things. So Daredevil Born Again Season 1 ends, and there's a post-credit scene where Punisher, who was captured, escapes. And he escapes this massive prison or this underground prison that Mayor Kingpin has built. So he escapes, and he's out in the world. We don't know what's going on. And so then we see this Spider-Man trailer when people are like, hey, what's going on? How's Punisher there? And so this is going to explain the gap. Part of this film will explain the gap or this special. I don't know the running time yet, but when John announced it, he kind of said it was a film. So I don't know the length. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 2 hours. I don't know. But the last one was like an hour or like something like that. So anyway, what's supposed to be happening is you have Daredevil Born Again Season 1, then this Punisher Last Kill special feature, and then you will see Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So this is part of the story that happens in between Daredevil Born Again Season 1 and Spider-Man Brand New Day. Not to say this will be the entire story, but my understanding based on what I've heard and read is that the Punisher's special presentation, which is called Punisher Last Kill, will be the explainer of what is going on with Punisher in between these two major events. So we should not see much of Punisher in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. I don't know about Season 3. They haven't said anything about that, but this is where the explainer comes of what the hell is going on with Punisher in between these two major events. So this should be really interesting. It should be interesting to see what is going on with Punisher during this time and how does he transition as a character where we kind of see him joking around with Spider-Man in the trailer and not so much in Daredevil Born Again Season 1. In Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Punisher is kind of like this bitter guy who's angry and not really feeling the superhero thing. Not to say that he ever was. Punisher is always kind of taking a different path, but he doesn't seem as lighthearted as he does in the Spider-Man trailer that we saw. In that trailer, he's kind of like, okay, all right, it's very like almost playful with Spider-Man, even though he's shooting at him. One, he knows Spider-Man can handle it, and two, it's clear that he's more lighthearted in that sense than he was when we first see him in Daredevil Born Again Season 1. Well, maybe not first see him, maybe I should say when we last see him, because it is a very different approach that we get from Punisher in these two different pieces of content. So this should be interesting to see how Punisher changes, why he gets this new logo we see him with in the Spider-Man trailer, and other things. So this should be really interesting. I'm excited for it. I'm also happy that John Burton-Thal was able to be part of the writing team for this and to have a real, what's the word I want to look for? A real contribution to this product. And so again, whether it's a film or just like a 1 hour thing, whatever, I just think it's cool that he was able to be hands-on with this project, because sometimes people are the main star, but it doesn't mean they get to be so involved. We also know Marvel does not typically just let anyone and everyone be involved in the writing side of things. So yeah, so I'm excited about that, and I look forward to it. I don't know if we're going to get any trailer. I guess we'll see, but if we do, I look forward to it, and if not, that's cool. We're not that far away as we are ending March. May 12th is just a few weeks away, which is why I'm pretty sure they meant the Daredevil Born Again Season 2 trailer. So that date again is May 12th. Yeah, May 12th. So we're just a couple weeks away. About 6 weeks from now, we'll be able to see Punisher. And so I don't think we're going to get a trailer because it's so soon, but I'm cool if there is one. So yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Quick pod today because I'm flying solo. I don't want to keep y'all here too long, just running my mouth. And hopefully Dash will be back tomorrow. If Dash is back tomorrow, we will do the Season 2 finale discussion / recap about Paradise, because Paradise ended yesterday, Monday. And so we will be there to discuss it tomorrow if Dash is feeling up to snuff, as they say. So yeah, this has been Weeknight Solo Edition. Thank you for being here. We'll see y'all real soon. Bye.